Hi, welcome to the video. In today's video, we will be talking about some of my TikTok characters. So I have a few characters on there. They're all based off my friends. So I'm going to go through each character that I have, and I'm also going to go through characters that I like to bring in a later date. I'm going to go through the characters that I have already. So I have a few characters on my TikTok already. You have, from the Slytherins, we have Ellie, Charlie, and Jake. From the Gryffindors, we have Jacob and Jess. And from the Ravenclaws, we have Belle, and then I'm the only Hufflepuff in the group. So I'm going to go through each character individually to try give a little bit more connection to the audience. So I can hear you move. Let's start with Ellie, because I noticed that a lot of my fans like Ellie. Ellie is a Slytherin, if you all know, she's in the Slytherin category. She's sort of like the mother of the group. She loves to protect all of us and make sure we're all safe, and while she tends to come across as kind of like, ooh, I'll beat you up, she's very, very loving, and she can be extremely funny as well. She gets her protectiveness from the fact that we're just stupid and we make silly mistakes, and she's just like, you children, you're gonna kill me. A little bit of background on Ellie's family. Ellie's family are majority wizards, but there are a few people in her family line who aren't wizards. So she is technically what Malfoy would call it, mudblood. There is a story arc that I'm planning to do on TikTok, because I did a TikTok video where so there was a TikTok I did where a random Hufflepuff recognizes Ellie because she went to Azkaban for attempted murder. Now, I do plan to do a storyline towards that, but at the moment I'm just kind of building some, not tension, but like mystery around it. Will it be linked to how I portray my characters and Ellie's characters' origin story? Yes, it will be. While the characters are based off my friends, a lot of how characters meet each other won't be based off how I've actually met my friends in real life. It will be purely for story plot that it will be different. My character, we're going to say my character Brie. So Ellie and Brie will meet up in a way that will explain the attempted murder. So that's much as I'm going to give on that. Charlie's rarely seen in my TikTok. That's for a good reason, because she's going to have like a bigger part to play in some of the stories that I plan to do on TikTok as well. She's the only wizarding child in her family, so she's also mudblood. In the universe I'm making on TikTok, Belle and Charlie have a thing, but currently on my TikTok I'm doing something about Belle, which I'll explain when I get to Belle's character, because it'll be a little bit easier than me explaining it now, but I'm going to officially say that they have a thing. But it's very one-sided at the moment due to things with Belle, and I'll explain that when I get to Belle's character. And then we have Jake, who's my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful husband. In the TikTok series, I know I've referred to him as my husband a few times on there, but that's just to clarify that he is my husband. In the TikTok series that I have, whenever he pops up, because in the universe that I'm creating on TikTok, we would be like below the ages of 18. So we'd still be attending Hogwarts. I made it like that on purpose. So in the series, Jake will be my boyfriend, not my husband. In real life, he's my husband, but in the series, he's my boyfriend. He is also a mudblood. There's a lot of mudbloods, but don't worry, I'll get there. He's also a mudblood because he's the only person in their family who was born with wizarding powers, sort of like how Hermione was, where she got chosen to be a wizard through the... I can't remember the name of it.
It was the Quill of Acceptance and Book of Admittance. God damn it, Brie. Why are you so forgetful?
And then we go on to the Gryffindors. So we have Jess. Jess is a pureblood. She doesn't have any Muggle relatives. She's not of a high family name, but she is definitely of a pure blood family reign. She is fun, she's quirky, she goes against all the rules. Her family are quite strict. Well, unlike the others from Slytherin, their parents are quite relaxed. Jess's family is quite strict because they expect her to hold a certain type of reputation because of their family name, but she doesn't want to hold that kind of reputation. She doesn't want to be like that. She just wants to have fun and do what she does best. That's why there's a lot of parties. Because that's her doing. She makes the party, she gets everyone involved, she unites everyone, she practically unites all the houses. She's just as tough as Ellie. Her and Ellie get in fights. Not all the time, but they do get in, Jess gets in fights voluntarily, Ellie gets in fights to finish the fights. She does that on purpose because Ellie's the mother, and it's sort of like Jess is sort of like the older sister of the group. She's protective, but she's also rebellious. Jacob was an orphan. So he doesn't actually know who his parents are at all. But he knows that he has magical powers, and he received his letter as normal. He is a big flirt, and this is going to be important between the Ellie and Jacob love storyline. For now, it's just going to be like back and forth teasing where he's like, yeah, you love me, and she's like, no, I don't, leave me alone, like, I will literally murder you if you don't leave me alone. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, you won't murder me. And that's why a lot of the TikToks I have where she's interacting with him, she's like, oh, I hate you, because she likes him but she doesn't want to admit it, sort of thing. So I am confirming the ship for all my fans who were wondering. Jacob and Ellie confirmed. Charlie is confirmed. That's the ship name. I do plan to do stuff with them, but at the moment I'm focusing on the main project, which is the stuff to do with Belle. Speaking of Belle, so Belle is from a very high family of purebloods, right? But she lost her parents at the ripe age of 12. They all got murdered. Basically, the person who murdered all her family put a curse on Belle. From what you've seen on my TikToks, you'll see that she had a curse on her. It basically prevents people from falling in love with her. It can be broken though, but this is the main story arc that I'm going on at the moment. Now, just to clarify to everyone, before they confuse the events going on with Belle with the curse as current events is not. So the events going on with Belle at the moment with the curse are actually events that took place prior to majority of the TikToks. I know it's confusing, but I've done a filter on there on purpose that's different from the filter I usually use, and you can see it's sort of more black and white, and it's supposed to symbolize the past. And I will be using that filter whenever I'm referring to those events. Basically, Belle not long gets into the friendship group, and she's not in love with Charlie at this point, they're just friends. So everyone can understand the story that's going on right now. It's basically around the time that they haven't long become friends, but they're close enough with her to want to protect her and love her. And what happens was that there's a lad, by the way, Belle is bisexual. Bella was in love with another lad from a different house. It's from Gryffindor, basically. And they did have a thing, and she fell in love with him. But as soon as she fell in love with him, he stopped talking to her, avoided her, didn't want to see her in the corridors anymore, and she'd not seen him. So when my first TikTok takes place, with the events with Belle, with the curse, it's after weeks of him not talking to her, and he sees him with another girl, basically. And that's when the curse starts to kick in. The repercussions of the curse is that if she decides to accept her fate, she will become extremely resentful and a little bit nuts. So in her grief, she decides to leave Hogwarts and run away. And she was missing for a few days when Ellie and Jess decide to go. Now, Ellie and Jess tell Jacob and Bree to stay behind because they think that they're both weak when they're not, but they believe that because they're always coming to help out, so they think it would probably be best if they stay behind, which leads into the events with my character, but I'll explain that when I get to my character. The woman who cursed Belle's family is still alive and is actually living near Hogwarts. Belle's near that location, but not with the woman. The woman hasn't captured her or anything. And so the TikTok with Ellie basically threatening that person's life is basically Ellie speaking to that woman because she finds out, because she speaks to the woman basically cussing out Ellie and her family. But Ellie doesn't at this point know exactly who she is, and that's why she says, if I might get you. It was a perfect audio, I might add. I was like, oh, yes, queen, and I had to use it. By the way, the events with this woman and the attempted murder are not linked. The attempted murder that Ellie did in the past is completely separate. I don't want to reveal any more about Belle because you'll find out more through my TikTok. And then you have my character. My character is very much based off my personality with slight differences. My character is always perceived as weak and can't look after himself and happy-go-lucky. But through this arc with Belle, you will find out that my character is not weak. And I feel like it's important that I do that. I do portray Bree as a very weak, needs sort of Ellie and the whole gang together to defend herself, but actually inside she has pent-up rage and sadness from always feeling weak, but she's not weak. So this will show a different side to my character as well, which I think would be really great and important to build up closer bonds with the audience, basically. And yeah, I won't reveal any more about my character because you see enough of my character on my TikToks. You have a pretty much good idea of her bubbly nature. I'm gonna move on to some characters that I'm actually gonna bring into the TikTok series, which I'm looking forward to because they're all so great. I won't be bringing them in anytime soon just because I need to finish this story with Belle and her curse, basically. But then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to bring in Red Fox Brave and her husband Callum. I'm going to bring them into the story, and I'm going to get their characters down to a T. Those are 2 new characters that I'm going to bring into the series after the Belle arc ends. Thanks, Mum. I have no other characters that I'm thinking about adding at this moment, but those are my characters. The plot points that I'm going to focus on for a while now is that at the moment I'm focusing on the Belle arc, and we're going to see a little bit aside of Belle before current events with Belle. You know, the fact that like you might start to understand why she's such a bookworm or why she's so hesitant to be close with Charlie. And if you go back through my TikToks, you'll probably see like little things like Jacob asking Belle why doesn't she like Charlie and stuff like that. And it'll all make sense, basically, through this. And like I'll try and explain the curse better through a TikTok. There's all my characters. I'm sorry, this is a bit of a boring video. Try my best. Hope you guys all have a good day. And I will see you whenever I make a video next.